We are talking quarterbacks tonight. Let's get into it. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope you all had a great weekend and are having a great start to the week. We are here. We are talking about quarterbacks, kind of hitting that lull in the season where there's not a ton to talk about. I mean, biggest news would be over the weekend, I guess, Donovan Jackson getting his rookie deal. And I believe I heard that OTAs are set for mid-June, and then there's also going to be a joint practice with the Patriots when you get to training camp. But outside of those little tidbits of news and information, not a lot going on right now. So we figured it'd be a good time to kind of, I mean, obviously we're going to talk a lot about quarterbacks for the rest of the offseason, but we know who we think is at the top, but I think it'd be kind of interesting to talk about what we think is going to happen behind JJ McCarthy, as well as talk about some expectation for JJ McCarthy this upcoming season. But anyway, how are you doing? How's the wife? How's the kid? How's life in Carolinas for the rest of the time that you're there?
It's nice out here still. I mean, still probably better than Minnesota.
No,
it's getting warmer.
Cold the last couple of days here. It's been
did it really?
After the 80s last week, we're on a little bit of a cold downturn.
Yeah, we were in a hot spot. We were in like mid 80s for like 4 days or whatever. But no, it's going good. Obviously, everything with the kid and everything is going great. Wife's doing good. I think I already told you and everybody on here that we're probably going to end up in Colorado next. So that's something I'm just looking forward to in general, is hopefully just get somewhere where we can kind of chill out for a second, instead of like always worried about moving all the time. But no, it's good. It's good. And like you said, yeah, we're getting a part of the season or the off season where it really slows down. I know, like, the big thing, I think when we were on Thursday, we already were able to talk about the whole Caleb Williams thing, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we already touched on that. That was interesting. But now that's the kind of stuff that happens. Like, you hear little things like that and there's nothing to talk about. So that's what you talk about. Obviously, so like throughout this off season, and, we are starting actually. So it was going to be starting just next week, but we are going to be switching to our every other week up until training camp starts. Except for next week, we won't be on next Monday. And then the following week, I'll be up in Minnesota. I have a wedding, so we won't be there during that week as well. So the next we'll be off for 2 weeks after this. Hopefully still get some other content out in another video. We did push out the Blake Cashman one out today. So if everybody in here didn't get a chance to go see that, we'll push the link to you guys after the show is over and all that good stuff. Another video that we worked pretty hard on. So definitely would like people to go check it out. But yeah, like you said, for today, though, we're going to kind of go, when we do come on, I think something we're going to try to do is kind of go through each position and spotlight each individual position players. Like you said, set expectations, maybe predictions. As far as right now, maybe predictions, I did kind of order this in a way that I think we want to see it / I think it's maybe more want than think it's gonna happen. But that's all right. No bias, never. Never. Not on this show.
Facts, right?
Yeah, only facts. No bias, only facts. So yeah, so we'll go through the quarterbacks maybe, and then the next week, I don't know, we'll go through running backs and everything and kind of give some final expectations for these players prior to going in. And I know my boy T-Bass, is he in here? Because if he is, he already knows that JJ McCarthy is going to be the best quarterback in the league next year, and we all think so. I know he was in here earlier, though. What up, T-Bass? So what was your guys' landing spot for the record this year? I missed most live. So we ended up coming down 3. Ours is 3-4. 13-4. The chat
3-4. What happened to the rest of them?
The chat is 16-1. So we'll see. We got Skol for Life, Barber, my dude, in the building. Sup, Casey, Jamie, Skol to the board. Let's go. Bob Sweet in the building. Let's go. George Blunt, I see you. Let's go. Who else we got in here? Skol Mafia, Purple Game, 117 days till Skol Fest. Let's go. Oh, there's some news, some Skol Fest news today. SK has confirmed that we will be at the Crooked Pint in Minneapolis, the one nearest to US Bank Stadium. And I believe it'll be 6 to 10 p.m. But we got our spot. This is a spot that we went to we went to have dinner at Crooked Pint that Friday of last year's Skol Fest. And then I know SK and Rap were looked at that area and was like, this is the place we need to have Skol Fest next year. If it's even a possibility. Well, guess what? I guess it is, because that is the spot we got. So I'm fucking excited, and I think everyone else is going to be fucking excited. And I think, I think, I mean, there's no question in my mind that we are going to have the best Skol Fest we've had up to this point. Obviously not forever, because we're just going to keep making it better. But let me keep going down here. Who else we got in the building? We got Bleeding Purple. Welcome in, my dude. Two-toned. Hell, everybody. What's up? What's up, Big Raylan? I know you're going to Skol Fest this year. You missed out last year. You going. Gary. I mean, obviously, he's part of it. He's definitely going. Let's see what else we got. Sarah, I see you. Stopping to say hey, stopping in. Hey, what's going on, Norris? Yeah. And then I think, I don't know if I haven't been on Twitter. So yeah, we'll dial in the whole thing with Rap and stuff. I'm still a little confused on exactly what the plan is around that, but we'll get it all figured out. What's going on, Sarah? Norris, you better come back after whatever you're doing. Gotta come back. Can't wait to post that on next. Heck yeah, Delton in the building. So to the open up the season, we play the Bears. Teams only passed 503 times against them, and they led up a league 7.9 yards per pass. So play the Bears. Teams only pass. I'm a little confused on that one. Teams.
So like people didn't pass very much against them, but the yards per pass.
We're good. We're good. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna bring it. Hell yeah, let's go. Anyways, yeah, going into this stuff, dude. Yeah, Skol Mafia is fucking killing it. Yeah, dude. I mean, hey, it's a lot to learn there, but you're gonna be a fucking Twitter beast soon here, X beast, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, but okay. I mean, you always throw it my way. How you doing over there, Casey? Before we jump into everything,
we're good. Just chilling. Go to work. Come home. Hop on here. Get a workout in.
Oh, and of course, like we have been other shows. Maybe at the end of this one, we'll kind of tap in on the Wolves.
Oh,
obviously, they're into the Western Conference Finals again 2 years in a row. It's going to be an interesting one. And of course, another show, another card giveaway, rookie card giveaway, JJ McCarthy's, Dallas Turner's. You guys have been here, you already know. But get those hashtag Skols in the comments and subscribe if you haven't already. Again, everybody, go check out our video after this is over. Which I'll put a link in there for later, but let me get I don't even have the giveaway thing up, I don't think. But get them hashtags in. All right. Should we just jump right in or what?
Yeah, let's do it.
Thunder, Blunder, Slumber, Wolves in 5. Fuck yes. I know. I don't know. It kind of feels like we're just going to win this whole damn thing. 5 games every series.
Each. Yeah.
5 games every series. All right, so into some quarterbacks. So this is our list. So I'm dropping a list. I'm going to make a graphic. I don't know, maybe every time we do this. And our list is going to be based off of the rankings that we kind of are projecting. I guess you could say we're kind of projecting the 53-man roster now. It's pretty early. Usually you do that more into training camp. But I'm feeling pretty good about this one. So let's jump into that right away. Let's see if let's see. Do we still have one that like makes us bigger? Whatever. This works. Quarterback depth chart. We got quarterback number 1, JJ McCarthy. Obviously, quarterback 2, Sam Howell. And even though Casey put $10 that Brett Ripon would be QB2, we did decide that Max Brosmer beats. And obviously, I doubt we're gonna have 4 quarterbacks on this roster. But as we see it now, we think that Brosmer is going to jump ahead of Brett Ripon at some point, and these are going to be the 4 quarterbacks, whether it's on the 90 or before the 53 or having guys on practice squad, all that good stuff. But yeah, man, I mean, how are we feeling? I guess let's just start from the top and then go down. Where are we at with JJ McCarthy?
I mean, I like, so what, because didn't they release like 2 weeks ago or last week, like I'm not sure where I saw like the projections for kind of what they're expecting from McCarthy. I think he was put at like 3,400 yards, like mid-20s for touchdowns and like 10 to 11 picks or something like that, which to me, if that's what he comes out and does this year, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I mean, obviously we talked about it ad nauseum and we'll continue to talk about it. This team is pretty confident that he can be the guy. The fact they passed on Aaron Rodgers, they let Sam Darnold walk. The vision was always, as we talked about multiple times, build a team around the young quarterback. And you don't, coming off a 14-win season, you don't make this move unless you're confident that he can put you in. Maybe you're not expecting 14 games, but you don't move on from Sam Darnold and pass up on Aaron Rodgers coming off a 14-win season if you don't feel like this kid can at least put you in a position to make a playoff push. So we all know they feel confident in him. They think that they surrounded him with the best team possible, which, I would say we pretty damn well agree with. I mean, offensive line on paper, of course, all this on paper. Offensive line's fixed. Wide receivers is still perfectly fine. Running back, we got better than we were last year. And hopefully Hawkinson and McCarthy can kind of find some of that chemistry, especially with Hawkinson going to have a full, healthy offseason coming up here. But yeah, no, I'm excited to see what McCarthy can do. I mean, to me, it's a pretty foregone. Again, they haven't said it, but it seems like a pretty foregone conclusion. And really, it's after McCarthy where the quarterback discussion gets a little bit more interesting. But yeah, I honestly think it's going to be a fun season just to watch him progress, watch him grow, and just see how he really plays in that first season. Because obviously they think he can do it.
How many times a day does JJ McCarthy? I don't know, but I bet you he's the fucking best at it. That's all I know. He's probably the best at going to the bathroom. No, I'm not good at it at all. I was going to say second best, but that'd be lies. That'd be an actual lie. But JJ McCarthy being the best quarterback next season is not a lie. But no, JJ McCarthy, yes, like you said, everything, probably arguably the best talent, especially on offense for a first-year quarterback that maybe has ever seen. Definitely that I know of since watching football for sure. So he has everything that he needs to succeed. It is interesting. You are seeing there's some people. I mean, they're definitely he's getting some shade here. I think I saw some article mentioning something about him having the most interceptions this season, which is fair. Which is fair for a first-year quarterback. But generally, I don't think you're talking about a first-year quarterback that has this much talent the way he does, especially from the offensive line. Like, dude, the offensive line is just, it's light years better. And you already have one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, best court wide receiver, if not arguably the best. And especially if you're talking pass catchers in general, TJ Hawkinson. And man, I'm taking Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason, beast combo. CJ Ham, obviously the greatest fullback who ever lived. And then no bias. And then, yeah, I mean, we're just set up. And then, yeah, so we'll see what happens there. But I guess when talking about JJ McCarthy, what would you like honestly, like no biased? Let me get one bias though. JJ McCarthy, 40 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 5,000 yards. And I'll give him not too biased, 900 on the ground. All right. So now after that, realistically, what do you expect? Because that is the hard thing with JJ McCarthy. Like, yes, I want to temper expectations to some extent for sure. But at the end of the day, you still have Justin Jefferson. You still have Jordan Addison. You still do have TJ Hawkinson. You have this offensive line. You have all these things. Like, for any quarterback in the NFL in general to come here, you think their stats would be inflated to some extent because of that. So what would you, not even just like, what would you be happy with if you would give a pre-training camp, even OTAs prediction on what you think JJ McCarthy healthy all season, what he could end the season with?
I think the projections I saw are pretty much spot on. I think like 33 to 3,400 passing yards. I could see I would say like 22 to 24 touchdowns and 10 to 12 interceptions is kind of what I'm thinking. Like, I mean, look, young guy, gonna have to learn defenses. Obviously, there's no tape on him, which does help. But I mean, I think there are going to be some growing pains. Exactly. Yep. Exactly that. So I do. And I did say growing pains before reading that comment. So me and T-Bass are on the same wavelength here. Yeah. I mean, I just think it's one of those things where he's a young guy. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to take his lumps. And I don't think it's, unfair to predict double-digit interceptions, and it's not a bad thing. It's learning it's a new game from college to pro, especially missing a year. So it's going to take him a while to get things back underneath him. So yeah, I mean, but I do still think that he can reach that 20 touchdown mark because of the talent that's on this team and because of what Kevin O'Connell can do. And we'll talk. I want to talk more about O'Connell when it comes to the backup spots and everything. But just in this scenario, yeah, I would say probably low 3,000 yards, low 20s, low 10s for yards, touchdowns, interceptions.
So basically, Caleb Williams' numbers last year's. How are you feeling about?
Hopefully, like 50 less sacks.
Yeah, he should be. Should be. Otherwise, he really has a holding the ball too long problem.
Right, and that's got to be the hope too, that there's going to be that part of him that.
How about on the ground? Like if you add the ground to that
he's the smarter, like the brain that he can just get rid of the ball quick if things aren't progressing. Hopefully you see more of that than holding it like Sam Darnold did, leading to sacks and leading to bad decisions and interceptions and double clutching and that type of stuff. So you hope to, even if he does throw picks and take some sacks, you hope to see that progression to where like the internal clock works a little bit better in his head to keep him out of unnecessary hits and bad decisions.
Yep. How about adding the ground game to that as well? How many rushing yards? How many rushing touchdowns?
I feel like coming off the knee injury, they're not going to want to. I know he can do it. I'm going to say maybe like 200-ish. I don't think they're going to make it a huge part of his game.
You don't?
No.
I don't. I think they're going to let. Yeah,
not this year.
I would say I think they're just going to let him play his game. I think this injury is just not that severe, and I think they feel really confident. And he's a young kid. I think you can make a big mistake worrying too much about someone like not playing their game. I don't think you should be worried about. I don't think he should be worried about it. I don't think anybody should be worried about his game.
But I mean, like, I mean, they're not going to like design runs. I don't think so. Like, do you think he's going to be able to like? Do you think he's going to like Lamar Jackson scramble it? And
no. Kind of what you said. I don't even think he's like that. He's not even like that. And 200 yards is actually probably fair. And I don't think I don't want to see JJ over 200 yards. I'm trying to think 200 yards. I don't know. I think he could do that. I think you would be making a mistake if you don't have plays JJ McCarthy running plays in your playbook. Specifically, I don't think it should just. I think he had the what was it? The fourth fastest shuttle time that year of all players, something like that. In that class, he's athletic as hell. We don't know what his 40 time is. He's supposed to be really fast. If you are not using his legs, you are doing a disservice. And yeah, there's people who are like, I don't want him to get hurt. Yeah, but we see a lot of quarterbacks who do that. Josh Allen, the Lamar Jacksons.
It's just don't take the hits. It's just be smart. Get down, slide, that type of stuff. Yeah.
So I do think he could definitely go over 200 yards. I think he could go over 200 yards, and I do think the Vikings should be making plays for him. Ultimately, I think the thing that we want the most is for him to just be able to use his legs when he needs to. Luckily, I do think we got a quarterback that is going to look to pass. Like if the pressure's coming, he's going to look to get out of the pocket and use his arm more than he's going to try to use his legs. But I do expect more than 200 yards. He's an athletic guy. Like he should be known as a guy. He didn't really show it in Michigan, but based off of like what he can do, you should be looking at him as a kind of a guy who can definitely rush. And I don't know what Josh Allen's running. What was Josh Allen's yards last year? Like anybody who's a guy who's like known for running but just doesn't run all the time. Maybe Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. I would say Jalen Hurts.
What was Jalen Hurts rushing last year?
So in 3 seasons at Michigan, JJ McCarthy had 632 rushing yards.
So he averaged a little over
202 in 2023.
Yeah, and I don't think they were aligned. I don't think they were doing any like run plays for him or anything like that. I don't believe. Jalen Hurts on the ground. What was it? 630 on the ground last year. And I'm like, JJ McCarthy is I don't know. He's capable of using his legs a lot.
Yeah.
The running. That's the thing is like, you're just taking, I don't know. In my opinion, you're taking away something that makes the defense scared, especially especially if you're a Vikings fan. You should be really worried, because if there's one thing that always throws us off, it's the running quarterback for years.
And I do agree. Like, I think it does add another element to a quarterback.
He's 21 years old, coming off a knee injury, but still.
The big thing, as we talk about with other quarterbacks, and was one of my gripes with, getting a guy like Lamar Jackson, was if you can do it, great, but don't use it more than you like. You're still a quarterback first, but like you said, that's another element to your game to keep the defenses off balance. So like, I have no problem with designed runs for quarterbacks if their bodies can handle it. And if they're athletic enough for it. I have no issues with scrambling and trying to pick up yards. I have no issues with that. It's just be a quarterback first and use those other things, A, as like a secondary tool, or B, as a way to just get out of bad situations, which we did see him do in that preseason game. May have led to an injury, may have led to the injury, who knows really, but like, that's one thing we did see in that game. He's able to use his athleticism, mobility, and speed to get out of bad situations and extend plays, which is exactly the thing that we wanted after the years of statuesque Kirk Cousins sitting back there. So, but again, it's just, I understand the restraint from people wanting to be like, oh, I want my quarterback to run more, because I get it. But you do need to trust that the coaching staff is going to be in his ear enough, and he's going to be in his own head enough to know, like, if something's not there, don't take any unnecessary hits, get down, get out of bounds, that type of stuff. And McCarthy, he strikes me the type of guy that's going to be in that vein, where he's not going to drop a shoulder and run into somebody unless it's like, fourth quarter, you need that first down, then maybe. But I don't see him being the type of guy. I think he's going to be smart enough to just get down, get out of bounds, avoid the unnecessary hits when he has to. Yeah,
and you don't want the guy that just won't do that at all. You don't want the guy that there's a wide open lane for him to run for a first down and he just doesn't do it. And obviously you can say, like, of course he can do that. Yeah, but it's easy to say, of course, if there's a wide open lane, but some guys are just runners and some are not. And I do think if you like like Big Raylan said here, Josh Allen can run it and scare teams. Of course it does. It keeps defenses on his heels. Like, having a quarterback that can use his legs and just because and like actually use them, and has shown that he's been able to use them, brings a whole different element to a game and what the defenses have to plan for. And JJ McCarthy has that. So I do think you're doing some sort of a disservice. Obviously, I would say his rookie year, fair enough to some extent. He's 21 coming off it, or 22 coming off a knee injury. Obviously, as he gets older and stronger and things like that, he'll be able to take more of a beating in that area. I definitely don't want him to take some big hits. I doubt they're going to try to do that, but I definitely don't think they're going to restrain him. I don't think Kevin O'Connell's that guy. I think Kevin O'Connell knows, like, you got to let him play his game. And that's what JJ McCarthy is going to have to do.
But just avoid the hits. Don't Tua this thing. Don't get like 18 concussions by the time you're 26. We don't need none of that.
Yeah, and he does move great in the pocket to buy time. He does all that stuff, and he can use. And he mostly is going to be using. He's going to move around the pocket. He's going to move outside of the pocket. He can throw on the run. He can do all those type of things. So, and he did more. He is more likely to do that. But I would like to see him use his legs more than he did at Michigan. He didn't use his legs nearly enough compared to how athletic he actually is. He's a super athletic kid.
Right. But I do think that was, again, the offense running the ball more than him having to.
Yeah. And that's just how that goes. Right. But with Kevin O'Connell, I think you're going to, like, you want to run. Don't just be scared of running. Why would you obviously you're worried about injury, but you should be using everything you can on this offense. We're trying to win if you're trying to win a Super Bowl here, like, don't be too scared. You can't be too scared. Yeah. That being said, my predictions, I'll give him 300 on the ground. I think he easily gets 200, and 300 I think could even be a little bit light. I think you're going to see him he should get more yards than what he did with Jim Harbaugh in Michigan, I think, on the ground.
Do we want to set the over under at like 250 and a half?
Me and you?
Yeah.
And bet? Mm-hmm. Sure. 250.
So if it's 250 or less, I win. If it's 250 or more, you win.
Yeah. No. How about 24?
I get 250, you get 251.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm betting under 250. You're betting over.
How about we do that? How about we do that for all of them? Touchdown, interceptions. Here we let me get a spreadsheet out real quick.
Boy, we're going hard on this one.
There ain't no way we're gonna remember this one.
No. God.
All right, so we're doing JJ McCarthy stats before June. projections, because I'm going to be a little bit. I'm going to be a little bit more optimistic of what he can do or what he's going to do.
Like, and I don't think like mine's probably
No,
more.
I don't think yours is solid, but I think it is I think it's being very
safe
for a guy that has the team he has with Kevin O'Connell as your head coach. I think so. Unless, JJ McCarthy could completely suck or whatever. That's always a possibility, but that's what's fair. I could lose all of these if he gets benched in 3 weeks. All right. So JJ McCarthy, we'll start with rushing.
But the thing with mine is I'm the classic, I hope I'm wrong guy, because I'm betting low and I'm like, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I lose that money, because if I do, it means he's doing well.
Not me.
And then you're like, I hope I'm not wrong, because if I am wrong, then.
All right. So you got, I'm going to say 250. I'll say over under. Okay, pissed at Josh Dot. Don't forget
that was more him. That was more him getting pissed. Like, dude, that guy was open. You didn't throw the ball. What are we doing?
Dude, O'Connell's not going to get mad for someone running the ball. All right. So, wow, I like that.
That is bold.
So 250.
I hope that's right.
You say 250 over.
I get 250. I'm 250 under. I'm 250 and under. You're 250 and over. So if he gets 250 on the nose, that's mine.
Okay. Where are you at for rushing touchdowns?
Rushing touchdowns?
Yeah. We don't have to bet on this one. I just want to know.
I could see like two or three. I think it's a low number, 2 or 3.
Okay. I think
the fact that they have Jordan Mason now, they're going to use him more in those goal line. It's a good little. It's a good thing they could use later on in the season or whatever. But I'm going to go low. I think like 2, maybe 2.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to see like 2 or 3. Unless he breaks one out, I have a hard time believing that we're going to I don't think we're pushed. We're going to be doing some tush pushes with JJ McCarthy this season or anything like that. All right, so. Yards passing. What was your number?
I was like 32 to 33.
I'm going to say he gets over 35.
Okay.
I'll do the over under on that even.
So you're taking 35
over 35.
Okay, so then I go under 35?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We'll do $5 a piece on these.
Sure.
All right. And then touchdowns. I'm going to go, what did Bob say, 30? I'm going to say over 25 touchdowns thrown.
Because I was going to go like 24, 23, 24. I think 25 is a good number.
Okay.
So
I think he's going to do better than 20. If he plays all season long, there's no way.
So on that one, 24 and a half would be the line then, right? Because you'd go 25 up, I'd go 24 down. Right?
I go 25 up, over 25.
Okay. So 24 and a half would be the line on that one.
Yep.
Sure. Yeah. Or 34, 24, 34, 34 and a half.
24 and a half. I didn't say over 34 and a half. Hey, maybe. So that's the thing is, all right.
Wait. You think he's only going to have 2,500 passing yards?
No, we're 25 touchdowns.
Oh, we're at touchdowns. Duh. That's right. Yeah.
Because that's the thing with Sam Darnold. You say, oh, he's not Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was considered a bust. He had 35 touchdowns, over 4,000 yards. And what was his... And 12 interceptions.
But that also with
the worst team, with
those games. But that also is a guy who did have prior NFL starting experience, which you do need to factor in a little bit. It does.
You definitely do need to factor that in, but at the same time, you're still talking about a guy that was considered a bust. Nobody was thinking he was going to do that, and now your team's better. So that's why I'm like he had 35 touchdowns. So to think that McCarthy can't get 10 less than that with a better offense. I don't know. I don't think so. So I think he's going to, I guess overall I was going to say 200 over 300 rushing. I think he's going to get over 3,500 yards. I think he's going to get, I'll say 27 touchdowns. I think he's going to have 10 interceptions. I don't think he's going to have over 10 interceptions, 10 interceptions.
Okay.
Yeah. That's where I'm at.
I think I just said double-digit interceptions is what I had said. So,
yeah, I think you said what people were saying was I think the number you said was 12,
like 11 or 12 or something like that. So 10 and a half on that. I sound like the negative one here, which is fine. I think he's going to have I think he's going to have like a run of the mill rookie quarterback season, but we're going to see a lot in that season
Take
that
the
makes
over on
makes us
touchdowns.
happy about it.
I'm going full homer. Yeah, I love it. That's the thing is dude, he didn't have a season of, yes, it's college, it's the NFL, I get it, but he didn't have a season over 4 interceptions in one season or 5 interceptions in one season in Michigan. I'm like, he's smart with the football. Obviously, in this case, you are kind of like you don't want him to be as safe as he had to play in Michigan. You want him to let the ball fly. It's going to cause more interceptions. You're playing against top level defenses, but you're also you should have tons of time, and you're throwing to some of the best receivers in the NFL. And that's the part where it's like, who knows what he could get. So yards, and then what was it? Touchdowns, yards passing, rushing yards, and interceptions. Yeah. So you want to do 10? You want to do like 9.5, or do you want to do
10.5? Because you said 10. You said you don't think he's gonna have more than 10.
Yeah,
I could see him having like 11 or 12. So 10.5 will go the line on that one.
10.5. Okay, that's fair. All right. All right.
It feels like we're just gonna split down the middle on these or something.
No, dude, he's gonna fucking do way better than that probably. That's my guess. Anyways, so JJ McCarthy, the most passing yards in the NFL next season, the most touchdowns, the least interceptions.
Just Patrick Mahomes. Patrick
Mahomes.
First full season starting, just 50 touchdowns.
Already better than Tom Brady. But no, so prior NFL experience is a huge factor. To some extent, I mean, I don't know. I've seen a lot of prior NFL experience guys that were busts, and they never fucking did shit. But I bet you can find more high-ranked rookies come and do better than a guy who has NFL experience but was just not that good.
Well, I think and again, as we all have seen with quarterbacks in the last 4 years or 3-4 years, it does a lot come down to who's coaching these quarterbers as well. And that's
which is
Arnold had prior experience, but not until he got with someone that was actually willing to put the time in and develop him the way he should have been developed from his early career in Kevin O'Connell. That's when you really started seeing the kind of the flow of things.
Does McCarthy got to do completion percentage? Okay, we'll do complete. McCarthy throws a pick six, yes or no? I'm gonna say no. You think I'm gonna say yes? I'm gonna say no. There's no reason why. I mean, hopefully he doesn't. I mean, picks. I wouldn't say they're fluky, but they can. This usually most of the time they're fluky unless you do have a bad quarterback who throws a shitty screen or something.
Yeah, most of the time.
Or if you're playing against Andrew Van Ginkel and just gets that shit out. Yeah. Completion percentage. I'm gonna say, I think the over or under could probably be 70%. Sam Darnold.
70%?
Never mind.
No. It's got to be like 64.5. If 60, not even
65%. 65%. That's good. Well, what do you think though?
I think he goes low 60s. I could see like 63.
Okay, so 65%. All right, I'll go over 65.
So 64.5, 65, 64.5. Go there.
Yeah. All right, there we have it. It's official.
Remember where you were.
Casey's a terrible fan. I'm just kidding. No, but I don't know, man.
Just like general rookie quarterback numbers. I'm like, I could see him doing that.
He has so much. Like, I get it. He's a rookie, and you can say this, like the NFL experience. Of course, that does matter, having none and being injured or whatever. But you're also talking about a team that's better. And you're talking about someone who was considered a bust, and Kevin O'Connell has done a lot with quarterbacks, but a team that like last year, the interior offensive line mostly sucked for most of the year. And then now it's just all fixed. Hopefully. Obviously
on paper,
reality on paper, obviously Kelly's still older, being a little negative here. Kelly's older. Fries is coming off an injury, and Donovan Jackson also has not played a snap in the NFL. So True. We'll see on that, but my prediction is McCarthy throws a pick six to Kyle Hamilton that wins the game for the Ravens and kicks all the Vikings fans in the Jimmy. Oh, that would hurt.
What would really do it? What would really do that? Is in like if after the bye, like Lewis Cine gets a pick six for the Eagles or something like that.
Dude, that'd be crazy. That would be bad. Which we don't play. Oh, we do play them. Yeah. If he's even on the field against us, that would be sad. I saw PFF released like their top 10 players under 25. And then they had Kyle Hamilton number 2 or 3, and Trent McDuffie was like number 6. And those would have been like the McDuffie was the favorite to go to the Vikings throughout the draft process that year. And that was only because Kyle Hamilton, we didn't think he'd actually be there for our pick. So it's just like, damn, just imagine.
You know, we could have had Harrison Smith and Kyle Hamilton playing safety for the last 4 years.
No first year starting quarterback has won a championship game. Rookies have only been to the championship 4 times. Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson won the Super Bowl his rookie year.
No, he didn't.
Was it his second year?
I don't think it was his.
Let's see.
It was 2014, wasn't it? So it was like 3 years in?
No, it wasn't. There's no way it was 3 years. Which, again, no, I can't name another quarterback that has been as set up for success as JJ McCarthy has.
Right.
That's so there. I mean, so
because that's the thing. Because if you're getting picked, I mean, if you're a quarterback and you're a big name, you're getting picked early, and if you're getting picked early, most of the time means that the team you're going to is not very good. So it all does make sense.
Yeah, most of the time.
Because if you pick top 5, that's kind of in that window where, well, you're supposed to start year 1. After
did Patrick Mahomes, did they win the Super Bowl his first year?
No, his first full year starting, I think, was the game where they lost to the Patriots in the AFC Championship game, or the game to go to the AFC Championship game, because the guy was offsides, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But, like, look, I mean, these stats, like, I understand them, but, like, also I feel it's funny that, you know, because it's always like, oh, like, this team, any team that, like, loses this game goes on to lose this series, yada yada, percent of the time. Or no one's ever done. It's like, who's to say that there's not going to be someone that's the first? Like, I get it, it's not likely, but at the same time, like the previous experiences and like the previous players,
Big Ben to do it. What's up, knowledge? Welcome back.
In those numbers, don't have any effect on the current day and age play. You know what I mean? Like, like those stats. I understand why people throw those stats out there because like the history of it's kind of fun to look at, especially like when you look at like teams that, you know, lose game 2 of a 5-game series, go on to lose a series or whatever. But it's just like those ones have no effect on what's happening current time, other than just the mental thing if the players see that type of stuff. So those stats are always really interesting to me because like they don't like, yeah, they're cool and they seem to like kind of flow and it carries through into future years, but it really has no effect on the current day and age. You know what I mean?
Yep. Both Russell Wilson and Big Ben won their second years. So not their rookie years, their second years. One thing is big difference about the guy we're talking about, though, besides the fact that he has all this talent on his offense, he's also, for a guy coming into the league, has to be like the biggest winner in general. So you're also talking to a guy that just wins anyways. So if anybody's going to do it, it's JJ McCarthy, right, T-Bass? He knows.
But anyway, we're all hoping for a big year, and I think he could have it. We'll see. Yeah, anything else on JJ before we move on to talking about the rest of the...
Just stay healthy. And, yeah, I mean, that's the main thing is just stay healthy. I think as long as he's healthy, he's going to do a good job. And I think worst case scenario, I don't see a lot of interceptions. I think worst case scenario, if he was ever to get benched or anything like that, I don't even know if he'll get benched. I don't think it's going to be because he's going to come out and throw a ton of picks. I think it's more likely that it's more of like a game management type. It's the whole thing that people were worried about him coming out of Michigan, that he can't really open up an offense. And he's more of like a game manager. I think you see that version of JJ McCarthy more before you see like this guy that comes in and just throws interceptions everywhere.
Right. And it's like it's going to be one of those interesting things. Like if he's throwing a lot of interceptions, like obviously you don't want that. But as a fan, are you going to be like, hey, he's trying to break that mold of game managing quarterback. He's trying to take some risks and take some chances. Like
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see if that does happen, how the fan base kind of weighs it. Is if, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing out there and he's throwing the ball away too much, or if he's just trying to be aggressive and he's just not reading the defenses properly at this point in his career. You know what I mean?
And
like he doesn't want to be too safe, so he's trying to take some risks, as we talked about in the past, which interceptions, I mean, they're not good, but they're not always bad, especially if it's a quarterback who's usually safe, who's just trying to actually take some risks and push the ball down the field. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And knowing Kevin O'Connell, it's hard to believe. It's kind of hard to think that he won't try to open up the offense for him.
Yeah. Like he's still going to call the game he wants to call, no matter who the quarterback is. And he's done that in the past. Like, and that's what people are so mad about the Josh Dobbs years. Like, he's not adjusting his offense to Josh Dobbs. It's like, well, it's midseason. You don't adjust the entire offense to a quarterback midseason because you just don't do that. But like that's the thing he's shown in the past. Like, no matter what, he's going to stick to his guns on how he wants to call the game, no matter who's out there playing quarterback.
Before jumping into the next player, again, everybody, we still have plenty of Will Reicherts. Still need to give one away.
You're gonna be fine. Take a Will Reichert card. Come on.
I know you guys are scared. Will Reichert's the guy. So get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the videos, and subscribe. Still have I think I still have a Kyrie Jackson one somewhere as well. But definitely do that. Get the hashtag Skols in the comments. All right. So now we go to a guy that a lot of fans were upset with the trade. I was like, whatever. And honestly, I kind of liked it. You didn't really give up much. You got a guy who actually has shown some more success than Sam Darnold probably did in his short little playing time. And that's another Sam Howell, coming from the same team. I don't know if he's going to be as good. I don't think he's going to be nearly even as good as Sam Darnold anyways, but I think you get a guy that Kevin O'Connell could probably still get the best out of. And I do think you get a guy that has some experience. And if JJ McCarthy goes down, I feel more confident personally having Sam Howell out there than
Mullins.
Mullins. Yep. Than Nick Mullins. I think Sam Howell is a better quarterback than Nick Mullins. So I think he is in an upgrade at QB too, in comparison to Nick Mullins.
Yeah, I agree. And he the mobility, he brings that factor to the table. And like, look, I understand it. We talked about this a lot. I mean, obviously the backup quarterback position was a huge like talking point among the Vikings.
That's on point, bro.
And I think you and I were agreeing, like, I get it. It's important, but also I think the fan base is so bored with whatever conversation was going on. They need to find something to talk about. And they just picked the backup quarterback spot. I really don't care one way or the other. Like, if McCarthy gets hurt, we're kind of effed anyway. I think if he struggles, you just got to let him take his lumps and work through it. I don't think he's going to get benched because he doesn't play well. But the thing is, I know everybody saw the trade. Like, oh, he's not that good of a backup quarterback. What are we like? We need someone with a little bit more experience. This, need that. Like, I don't agree with that. Like, because we've seen, as we talked about a lot of times in the past, we've seen what Kevin O'Connell can do with Nick Mullins. Even goes out there and puts up. Sure, he throws a lot of interceptions, makes some dumb plays. That's just Nick Mullins. But put up a ton of yards in those starts that he had to start for Kirk Cousins a couple of years ago. Yeah. Josh Dobbs played his best ball until teams kind of started to figure out how he was playing the game, and that whole honeymoon phase wore off, and eventually it kind of went south there. But and then you even look back to the magical 2017 run. Like, no one would have thought, behind Bradford, Case Keenum would be a backup quarterback that could take this team to new heights. And look what happened. He came in, he played the game his way. I know we had a good defense, good receivers, ends up getting to the NFC Championship game. So it's like, yes, I know some people want a veteran quarterback who's proven to be good, but guess what? There's things with those. Backup quarterbacks who are proven to be good sometimes get starting jobs, and other times cost way too much to be your backup quarterback. Sam Howell, you're paying him $1 million. He has starting experience, and it's just like, I don't think you need this guy who's proven it to be a successful backup quarterback in this league. I think, like you said, I think Howell could come in. I think he has a skill set, and get him a full offseason learning under Kevin O'Connell. And I think if he did need to spot start or start 2 or 3 games if McCarthy gets hurt, I think he could do it. So, like, I understand that people want this high-grade backup quarterback. I think we worry too much about it. I don't think it's that big of a talking point. I think Kevin O'Connell has proven he can take anybody, and as long as he has a full offseason to work with that player, he can get them at least to be a serviceable starter in this offense. Like, I don't want to hear the Josh Dobbs, because Josh Dobbs had the 3 weeks. What happened after that? That's a mid-season trade. Like Josh Dobbs was never supposed to start. The hopes was he was going to back up Nick Mullins. Like he was never supposed to have any starting reps. And because of the what's his name, the Mormon Missile, because of his injury, we had to make that change and go with Dobbs in there. So I don't know. I don't think this whole like all the time we spent worrying about the backup quarterback spot and talking about it on Twitter, because like that's what all the beat writers were talking about and talking about it on these shows and everything. I don't think it was important as people said. Like I get it, it's an important spot. But we've seen time and time again with this team that we could take any backup quarterback, and as long as he has some skills and is coached right, he can take this team where we need to go. So I don't know. I think what you're paying him, what you got him for, I don't see why anybody would be upset with this.
And at the end of the day, you're talking. I mean, it's your backup quarterback. Like,
exactly.
It's supposed to be a backup.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried. And I'm just not that worried. I think JJ McCarthy's going to do good, personally. I think that's fair. It's top 10 pick. Everything I've seen, I've been impressed by him. Obviously, doesn't really mean a ton, but to think that he's just going to come in and not be good, like no, I don't know who's the Bears' backup quarterback. Who is? I think Marcus Mariota was Jaden Daniels.
Mm-hmm. I think
but who's Jacoby Brissett? I guess was because he was the starter at first. Was trying to think of like not a lot of rookie quarterbacks come in and people just make sure they have like a guy to back up just to automatically like come in and be really good.
Yeah.
This doesn't happen.
I don't know, because again, good backups are probably starters on bad teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or at least somewhere competing. Where Howell, he's here not competing. He knows he's going to be the backup, but he's still here. Like, I don't know. I don't understand the hate behind this pick because again, we've seen it. Quarterbacks who haven't played well in other spots get with Kevin O'Connell. He's able to coach him up, and he's going to have a full off season with Howell to really work with him, and you know he's going to do that. So I don't know. I think this is about as good of a situation you can have for him, Howell personally, but for the Vikings, I think this is a good spot as well. You're getting a guy who has starting experience, and if he does need to start, I think he could be just fine in this offense, as we've seen. Kevin O'Connell's done it with multiple quarterbacks throughout his time here.
Yeah. So. Keep it on rolling here. I'll let you keep going. Max Brosmer, we put him instead of Brett Ripon. Gopher boy, undrafted free agent. What's your thoughts on him?
I'm a fan, man. I think he could be the long-term backup quarterback for this team. Like, look, does he have the strongest arm in the world? No. Is he the most mobile quarterback in the world? Absolutely not. But when I watched a lot of him with the Gophers, and when he finally got accustomed to the offense and learned how to play within the offense, he's good in the pocket. He's smart. He makes good decisions, and he's got that super quick release that you want from a quarterback. So I think, and again, and he's going to be that guy that can be on the sidelines, and if he sees something, he can talk to McCarthy on the sidelines, watch, film. That's what quarterbacks do. Like you always see him like huddled around, looking at the Microsoft Surface after plays and stuff. He's going to be that guy that can help him see like, hey, here's what I saw out there. Maybe you could do something with this. Like he's going to be that kind of that second guy on the sideline, watching the game and helping him kind of go through some stuff too. So I don't know. I think Brosmer could be a absolute long-term backup option for this team. And if you come away from this getting a guy from the Gophers who can come here and you can groom him to be your backup, that's the best situation you can ask for. And if he does need to start, he can come in and at least manage a football game, at least from what we saw from him in college. So
yeah,
I don't know. I really like this one. It was, undrafted. You brought him here. He's going to try out. I think he makes the team. But yeah, I think the Vikings might have their long-term 1-2 at quarterback with McCarthy and Brosmer. I really do.
I hope so. And that's another thing too, is like, you kind of want that guy who like, all right, JJ McCarthy goes down, Brosmer comes in and he plays so well that he ends up having to go somewhere else to start. There's like, we have to trade him. We have to do something like that even. Cause it does happen. Obviously you say Kirk Cousins in general. So you might have like with Brosmer, you might have a guy that hopefully KOC can get to the point. Cause if he's a high end, that's the thing. If you have a young player who's a high end backup, but hasn't got a real chance, you never know. And that's one thing that was interesting. That was like the whole thing with the Shedeur Sanders thing. Cause I know I was actually really surprised of the amount of Viking fans that were really upset with our 5th round pick that we didn't pick Sanders. Which was like, to me, I'm like, all right, it doesn't make sense to just bring someone like that in who obviously has some sort of character issues. That's sounds like the main reason why he dropped, or at least definitely a reason. And then on top of that, you know, you don't want, like, why would you? I don't think you need to go draft someone like that when you think JJ McCarthy's the guy. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. But if you did do that, I guess the interesting thing is what if he is good and Kevin O'Connell did get the best out of him? And you always think, like, what if Kevin O'Connell really is like this quarterback guru guy that it just becomes like some quarterback farm where guys just come here for a year and then we can just like give them away for picks or something, for like trades or something. Yeah, or we just draft like these young guys and then we just like get them ready. They put them on stage for like a game or something, and people, obviously that's very wishful thinking. I haven't seen anybody do that before, but Kevin O'Connell has been impressive with what he's been able to, literally getting the best years out of quarterbacks and the best play out of quarterbacks. So
yeah,
we'll be running the ball a lot.
But I don't know if I agree with that though. I mean, if they get Howell to a point where he can, you know, play. I mean, because he's obviously not afraid to throw the ball. I mean, he threw 21 receptions in a season, so he's not afraid to throw the ball, and he can throw the ball if he gets the right coaching. Like, I think, again, I don't think Kevin O'Connell's going to go through this thinking like, yeah, if our quarterback, if McCarthy goes down or whatever, like, we're in trouble. Like, I think he traded for Howell knowing like, yeah, this guy, I think this guy's enough traits where I can coach him up to where if we need him to, we can at least stay in games with him. Like, he's probably not going to be a next level quarterback, but he, again, just like we're talking about with Brosmer, could he manage the game? I think so. So I don't know. I don't understand the hate for Howell. I really don't. Like, he has talent. It's just he's got to be coached right, and we know this staff can do that with quarterbacks, as we've said multiple times. We've seen it done. So I don't know. And he's cheap. He's cheap as hell. That's the one thing. He's $1.1 million. Like, that's what you want from your backup spot. You want cheap. Like, that's just kind of the way it is, especially when you have a young quarterback that you expect to be able to make some noise. So,
yeah,
I don't
know. Keeping on rolling here, Brett Ripon. I guess at this point, this is a guy that you were kind of liking. I think he also came from Seattle as well, right?
Denver.
Yeah, it was Denver. Yeah, it was Denver.
Yeah. I mean, I know with him, like, there was that rumor last year that O'Connell liked him a lot. And again, if you're looking for a guy, like I said, a guy that's just smart, knows the game, and he can kind of be like almost like a coach or like someone on the sideline to be like, hey, here's what I saw on that play, or here's what I like when they pull up the surface. Here's what I saw. What did you see when you were out there? He can be that type of guy, like more of someone like you're not expecting him to go in there and be good when he gets onto the field, but kind of like Sean Mannion type, where he's smart enough to know the game, should probably be a coach somewhere, that type of stuff. So I think that was more the thing with
Kevin O'Connell.
He's not going to be a good backup, but he can be a good, like, when a backup in a sense that he can like help you kind of work through some things that maybe you didn't see because that quarterback's out there on the field playing and not watching from the sideline.
Fair. Yeah, like I said, Kevin O'Connell sees himself in him.
Maybe
type of situation.
Yeah,
yeah, I would say, I mean, honestly, if I was going to be completely honest, like, it's hard to see Brosmer make this team over Ripon or whatever practice. I mean, Brosmer, you could see make practice squad.
Easily practice.
But as far as like actually taking the quarterback 3 job, it'll be interesting. You just kind of, it's definitely more of like a hope thing, because we would love to, like, the idea, like you said, like having JJ McCarthy, it's probably like the perfect world. It's probably unlikely, definitely unlikely. But having JJ McCarthy as your franchise quarterback, and then you have Brosmer as just like his backup, would be fantastic. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of all the quarterbacks. We got some bets in, pretty much. I'm over on JJ McCarthy, and Casey's under on JJ McCarthy.
I would say I'm more average on his stats, not under. Under makes me feel like I think he's gonna suck. I'm more like I'm towing the line of average, and you're like, nah, he's gonna exceed this first season, and I hope he's gonna exceed. I hope I'm wrong.
No, he's gonna be good. No, I'm excited. Obviously, we got a long ways to go, and hopefully, we have OTAs and OTAs around the corner, so we'll be able to see a little bit more of him, since we missed him at rookie minicamp, since he ultimately didn't count, or I don't know what happened there. I know there was some noise about him maybe being able to practice at rookie minicamp. We did see a little bit of Brosmer. I didn't know if I heard anything. I don't know if you heard. I didn't really hear anything come
about anything.
Anyone like impressing. Significantly. I know there was a lot of Ty Felton stuff coming out, and he had some highlights and things like that, but no one really said someone stood out. But I mean, you're not gonna hear tons coming out of rookie minicamp anyway,
right? So. For sure. But
Hey, what up, Burley Sullivan? Patriot Vikes joint practicing happening. Yep.
Because I think they said OTAs are like middle of next month. I'm pretty sure. And then you kind of just go away for about 4 weeks. And
well,
then...
they have involuntary.
Yeah.
Next week.
Is it? Yeah.
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 Obviously, you won't say JJ or Justin Jefferson, but you probably will see JJ McCarthy there.
Right.
Again, everybody, giving away rookie cards, JJ McCarthy's. Boom. Get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the videos, and subscribe. Franchise quarterback right there. But get those hashtag Skols in the comments. We're going to be doing this giveaway pretty quick here. We went through all of the quarterbacks, kind of quarterback spotlight. JJ McCarthy, Sam Howell, Max Brosmer, Brett Ripon. So kind of our projection of what we're expecting. Kind of way too early roster projections in a way. But in our expectations that are probably way too early, but whatever. But yeah, get those hashtag Skols in the comments. Knowledgeable, why didn't they trade up for Penix was off the board. I think my theory makes sense that they were comfortable with either one.
I think they were comfortable with basically any quarterback that was taken in the first round last year. Like, I think had they been stuck with Bo Nix, they probably would have just sticked and picked and grabbed Bo Nix and been like, all right, we'll work with it. Like, I think in that type of draft class, when you knew you needed a quarterback, I mean, the rumors were out there. They wanted Drake May. I mean, they tried to make that move up to number 3 to get Drake May. Didn't happen. I think there was a plan in place for every quarterback on the board. Like, if this guy falls to us, we could take him and make it work. So,
yeah.
But I still don't think that doesn't mean that McCarthy can't be handpicked because they still spent the draft pick on him, right? Like, sure, he wasn't. I mean, my handpicked mate would be Jessica Elba, but I'm never going to get that. Oh. There's no way I can go get that. So I got to take whatever falls to me. You know? it's the way, but that still is someone that I'm going to pick for myself.
That's crazy.
Right?
Jessica Elba, that was like my crush when I was a kid, 100%.
I saw her. She was like, I don't know. I saw something on Twitter about her.
Jessica Elba in her prime, dude. Woo.
But yeah, I mean, that's the point. Like, just because like it's not your top grade A person doesn't mean that it still can't be like a hand-picked commodity or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I'm like, yeah, you miss out on Jessica Elba, but you still get like Transformers Megan Fox.
Those are both up here though. I'm talking more like normie girl.
What do you mean? No, JJ McCarthy is like 2 Jessica Elba. JJ McCarthy's Jessica Elba's with double D's. That's what JJ McCarthy is.
All right, this show's gone off the rails.
Anyways, get the hashtag Skols in the comments, subscribe, like the video, all that good stuff. We're about to do this giveaway. Switching to another sport real quick. We got to talk about the Timberwolves a little bit here. Obviously, playing against the Thunder. I think a lot of us was, hey, what's going on, Darren? I think a lot, Phoebe Cates.
Phoebe Cates. Phoebe Cates.
Phoebe.
Phoebe hell yeah. There you go, Gary. Let's go on.
Phoebe.
Oh, okay.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. End up getting the Thunder. I know a lot of people, including myself. I really didn't know who I wanted to play. I think once I heard about the Aaron Gordon news with his injury, I was like, okay, without Aaron Gordon, I feel like I probably would rather play Denver at that point, even though he ends up playing anyways. Ultimately, you get Shea and Holmgren, Minnesota boy.
So instead of like that top shelf, like championship caliber experience that team has, you get a young, scrappy team that won 68 games this year, like a phenomenal season, who are like really pesky on defense. I think they forced they forced a ton of turnovers that game yesterday. So instead of like the team with a lot of experience, you're getting that up and coming team that they're going to challenge you. Like, they're going to force turnovers. This team, especially in that Warriors series, gave the ball away quite a bit. Obviously with Shea, as even Chris said after one of the games this last season, like, you can't touch him because he's really good at drawing fouls.
Luckily, I was just gonna say, some people have a good point where they're like, at this point in playoffs, he shouldn't be getting caught. Like those fouls
Yeah,
should not be getting called to the
right,
same extent or whatever.
Yeah, and then I mean, of course, you got the Chet Holmgren, kind of homecoming for Game 3 and 4. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I mean, I think it's going to be a fun series. I hope it's a lot closer than the one last year. But like, yeah, no, I think it's going to be a good one.
Wolves in 5.
I'm gonna say Wolves in 6.
I'm sticking. Hey, Darren comes in and snatches a spot. I'm gonna say Wolves in 5. I gotta keep rolling with this 5 thing. I believe it. It's destiny. What number is Anthony Edwards?
5.
Yep. No, it's funny is I didn't even think about that until literally this 1 second. So now it's just absolute destiny.
Maybe.
Darren, you are in the building, obviously. Let's keep on rolling here. What do you all think? What do you got the Timberwolves winning? Assuming you have the Timberwolves. Does anyone in here have Timberwolves not winning? I mean, you shouldn't, but
I really want to see a Knicks Wolves finals. I think that'd be so fun.
I do. I'm a little nervous.
The real winner of the cat trade would be decided that.
And I'll be at game. Oh, dude, nice.
Hell yeah,
nice. Yeah, I know. I'm a little I'm not nervous. I would love to see that, but I mean, like, it would kind of suck to lose to Cat in this championship. But that's the one thing is like, who's going to be more motivated? You got Cat, and then you got Randall and Dante. So Cat's going to be motivated, but you got both Randall and Dante. Hey, Jen. Hey, I think Jen's still in here. We'll keep on rolling. So that'll be interesting. And honestly, I have a feeling if we play against the Knicks, I have a feeling you're going to see the best we see Dante defense, scrappy, all over the court, has not been great on offense. I feel like if we play the Knicks, I think I would put my money that Dante's like that guy that steps up. He's just got the whole thing that happened with Brunson's dad. Just that whole situation that hit him harder, I think, than it did. Probably, honestly, it probably was one of the hardest trades in a long time for a player. Maybe not as bad as Luka, I guess, but you're still going to the Lakers. But for Dante, like, with his college teammates and stuff, and he just gets shipped off.
That was like the full Villanova squad, right?
Yeah. Yep. All right, keep it on rolling here. So that's why I'm like, I feel like he's going to be really determined and motivated.
I feel like Conley doesn't get Shea. Like, I just don't think that'd be the right matchup for defense.
No.
Personally.
Heck no. You put Jaden on him all day.
Yeah.
Bleeding Purple won last time. Bleeding, are you still in here? I think we still got at least one more. I'm gonna keep rolling. Bleeding Purple, let us know.
On a cruise. Hey, hell yeah, Darren, where'd you go?
Ooh, nice. Bleeding Purple, let's go. And George Blunt, we got them all. Put this up here. All right, 45 seconds. Darren, two-tone, Jen, Bleeding Purple, Blunt, set. What are we thinking?
I don't know.
9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh, unicorn duck. No, I'm going one more. All right, let's get a good one. All right, Viking duck. We got a little. What's that? A chef duck. That's chef duck.
Doctor Chef.
Duck. Okay, Viking duck. Darren's the Viking duck. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Let's see what happens. Darren's in the early lead.
Very nice.
St. Kitts, St. Martin, St. Thomas, and Dominican Republic. Heck yeah. I've been to a few of those places on a cruise as well. Darren's in the early lead. See what happens here. $15 seconds.
Who's
13.
Who's gonna get that bounce?
Blunt's in the lead here. Oh,
Bleeding Purple.
Bleeding Purple. That'd be 2 in a row.
Unless two-tone?
Two-toned and is
No,
bleeding purple
almost.
again. That's like bleeding purple has been on fire. He's been on fire.
I saw infants on mopeds.
That's
Like
what
driving them themselves.
you-
Crazy.
I better tell my kid to freaking start working on that. Bleeding purple, what are you thinking?
Someone take a Will. You've won a bunch. You have all the cards you want. Take a Will Riker card for the love of God. Someone take a Will Riker card. The kid's gonna be good. I promise. He's gonna be just fine.
I know you already.
Do me a favor,
I know
Bleeding
you
Purple.
already got a patch on the way. Dallas Turner patch on the way. Let me know what else you're looking for. Of course, two-toned. Take a JJ. Perfect. Got you. Again, everybody, we did post a video today. If you all can go check it out, help us out a lot. Like the video, all that stuff. I'm putting the link in here. It's about Blake Cashman, so it should be at least solid enough for y'all. So, yeah. Anything else?
I got nothing. I think that's.
Again, we will not be here next Monday or the Monday after. So we'll be gone for the next couple weeks. And then we'll just throughout June, we'll be going every other week until training camp kind of gets going again.
Yeah. So yes. So don't forget about us for these next 2 weeks, but everybody enjoy these next 2 weeks and we'll see what would that be?
Course,
I'm not going to try to figure out what date that would be, but we'll see you.
Let's go.
3 weeks from tonight. Have a great rest of your guys. Couple weeks here. Be on the lookout for some content dropping. I'm sure we'll be doing more of that. You can still catch us on Bleacher Report the next couple weeks here. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your Monday. Have a great rest of your week. See you guys next time.
Skol Vikes.